All right, welcome back, everybody. How are we all doing today? Let me just get a screen up. We've just opened. I'm a little bit late. Do apologize. Apologies as well for not being able to stream yesterday, but still having an issue getting an account. So there is like a demo account on DX Futures I could potentially use. I'm just trying to get access to it now. So, but apart from that, hope everyone is doing well. Let me know. I'm just going to quickly try and get that account up whilst we wait for the open. How is everyone doing? Let me look at the chat real quick. Nils, good to see you. Cody, great to see you again. Peter, Neil, how is everyone doing? Not a bad open. Actually, no, quite a flat open, but it looks like the sellers might just take it. Let's work out some levels while I figure out this account thing. Daniel, Heng, hello to you guys. Oh, we got a lovely gap right there. Look at that. Beautiful gap, which we hit earlier. Oh, that would have been a very nice trade. Very, very nice. And in the past, we're kind of, wow, we're very high up. We are very high up. We're the highest we've been in a long time. I'm going to have to drop this to like an hour chart or something so I can see the full. Yeah, whoa, look at that. Okay, we're not far off all-time highs, by the looks of it. All-time highs are actually not that far. 800 something points away. Okay, well, let's do a volume profile from here to here. There is one more gap left, which is up here. So we'll have that drawn out. But apart from that, not much really to look for. Coach Z, good to see you. How are you? So we can go back. And cool. All right. Let's see. Oh, buyers took over again. I'm going to quickly try and get this DX Futures account up. So bear with me 2 moments while I try and get that. As far as I'm aware, it's like it's just a demo account. It's not a real account. So, but it's at least something we can trade on the, here it is. Okay. So this is kind of like the team's account where everyone just kind of, to not practice, but to, what do you call it? Test things out. We use this account. So it's fine. We'll use it for today. Let me just, 1 second. Give me 2 seconds, guys. I gotta move all this over and move that there. Can I get that clicking? All right, perfect. That works. Okay, we're back. All right, so we have something to trade at least. Let me go to NQ. Let's get the NQ up. Let's do MNQ. We want micros. We want to go micro, and we want to be on a 1 minute. So this is the DX Futures platform. It's a little bit, it's all right. It's not my favorite platform, but it will do. I mean, it's quite easy to navigate all in all. In terms of just purely executing trades, it is decent. Okay. Now we're ready. Amda, hello Sam, I'm new here. It is the first time I watch you live. Amazing. Welcome. I hope you enjoy. So let's break down these charts. Let's see what we got. So I'm gonna just make TradingView a bit bigger. We're gonna mark out any kind of obvious areas where we expect. Obviously, I'm looking to buy in this area here, in this gap, back from these lows. I'll be definitely looking at taking longs. Also be looking at taking shorts at the top here. So we're kind of dead in the middle right now between this area and this area. So it's a bit of a bit of a shit area to open, but it's fine. In terms of actual, just basic support and resistance, the daily profile looks very rangy. I mean, it's got the typical V-shape kind of volume distribution, meaning it's very rangy at the moment. In other words, it's 50-50. All right, anyone can win. But overall, it looks a bit more bullish in general, considering the days we had. I can imagine we will get into this area and then we'll get some kind of decent retracement at some point. So I'll still be more on the bullish side, yeah, but there's nothing to trade off in terms of this volume profile. This is just a range, essentially. Trojan, good to see you. Isn't the trading view footprint inaccurate because it is not based on real-time tick data? No. So, Trojan, I don't know where this came from. I don't know why people always say that. But no, the footprint data is real market data. As long as you're trading it from a CME product, so, this is the NQ, obviously. So as long as you got from the CME and you got the actual data feed from the CME, so you're subscribed to it, you're going to get real volume data. Tick data only comes when you're, trading like a CFD product or something that doesn't have an exchange. Then, yeah, the footprint will just give you tick data. But, yeah, no, it will be real market, real actual data from the CME. Unless you mean it's not based on real-time tick data. So you would need the TradingView Ultimate to get like literally tick for tick updates. Otherwise, it's just like, I believe, a 1 second update, which is okay. Makes it feels a little bit laggy, but for the most part, you can still, still trade it. It's not the end of the world. But you can get the TradingView Ultimate subscription, then you get, super quick tick for tick updates. But I'm just going to mark out, this high here. I'm also going to mark out this high, but these look like new spikes to me. So I don't really put too much emphasis on. I feel this high is a little bit more interesting, but we've already touched it, so I'm actually going to get rid of it for now, because all I want to do is just see where the volume is, who's in the market from the open. So let's take a look at the open, and I'm just going to make the clusters a little bit bigger, maybe to 12. That's a bit easier to see. And okay, so on the open, let's break this down. Let's try and figure this out. Whoa, lots of volume just came in buy side. So we had majority sell volume, didn't really push down much. It's very kind of flat, the market on the open. Then we had a bit more sell volume come in, majority of it being at the bottom. Buyers came in, took over. Bit of a battle. Sellers tried to push it down again. So again, more selling tried to come in. Again, trapped at the bottom. The volume distribution, all the sellers seem to be at the bottom. So it's very much more bullish right now, where the majority of the buyers seem to be higher up. We're trading above the majority of the buyers, and we're trading above the majority of the sellers. So the sellers are the ones getting squeezed. Buyers are right now not, doing okay, but they are still vulnerable. And considering it opened so kind of rangy, I wouldn't be surprised if we go back down to potentially these lows again. So it's still kind of a very, very choppy kind of battle type market. It's not perfect yet, but we did see a spike in volume as we got to these highs here, meaning I do think sellers are exiting. Sellers who got in at the open around, this whole area, a few of them are dropping out, but we are getting some fresh selling coming into the market, but very quickly got eaten up. So if these sellers get absorbed and kind of fail, this could be the new kind of support, basically. If you were to go in long here, hypothetically, you could, for a scalp, you could have your stop just a bit below, this area here. And yeah, it looks like they're all dropping out, the sellers, as we kind of just broke above that little high there. But the sellers are still willing to jump in. So but it doesn't look like they're doing much damage at this moment in time. So I'm not too worried about those sellers. But we'll see. They are making a little bit more progress, but they might actually just bring it down a little bit. But it looks like buyers are eating them up quite quickly. Now, I don't really want to take a trade right now because it's still very, like I said, very choppy. Sellers are still very eager to keep shorting. Buyers are happy, though, to buy quite high up, which is good. Buyers do seem to be okay at buying quite high up rather than waiting for it to drop down and then they enter again to push the market up. So that is a good sign for the buyers. But it's going to be choppy until the sellers really kind of give up and admit defeat here. Because sellers could just overpower the buyers and we just rotate back down again. And it looks like it might just give it a few more seconds. Hard to say. Very hard to say right now. But essentially what we're looking for, we're looking for, you know, like a clear kind of a clear winner. Yeah, look, sellers are still happy that they're coming in with some decent chunks as well. But buyers are, you know, buying it up as well at the low. So buyers are happy. All right, we've confirmed that buyers are more aggressive the lower down we go. So it's going to be difficult for the sellers to really break through all this pressure, right? Sellers are going to have to be a lot more aggressive in order to get this market further down. And buyers do seem to be quite happy. So yeah, just saw that big chunk there, but sellers are pushing it. 19, 1, 6, -6, 18 is all relatively small right now. It's nothing too major, nothing too crazy in this area. Oh, look at that big chunk of sellers just came in. So sellers are very aggressive. There's another big chunk, but I do think that would more likely be some of these buyers potentially getting out. So I think buyers just got stopped a little bit. Now they're coming in heavy again. If we stay above, no, sellers coming in aggressive. I want to see sellers fail, essentially. So they're putting in quite a bit of volume, these sellers. I might start looking at potentially, how do I even enter here? Oh, there it is. Buy. Okay, there are the buttons. No problem. I might start looking at potentially buying it, but I am also aware we are in a range, right? Ultimately, today is very rangy. Doesn't look that nice of a range, but if you actually look at it, the volume profile's very rangy. And it is ultimately just kind of going up and down, right? So I am keeping my eye to see how strong these sellers are. And if buyers are willing to come in and be a bit more effective. There's a little chunk of sellers that failed. Buyers coming in a bit stronger. But it's not a lot of sellers. I might look to get in. All right, I'm going to go in. My mouse stopped working there. I'm going to go in long quickly. Oh, there's a big chunk of sellers. I'm going to have my stop. Now, I don't know how to actually set a stop loss on DX Futures. Again, I don't fully know how to do it. Oh, what have I done? Give me 2 seconds. I should have probably figured this out before actually entering. This is not good. But there's a lot of buyers getting stopped out. So we're expecting, oh, God, how do I get out? My mouse has stopped working. Give me a second. Where's the order? There it is. Can I drag it? No. Okay, I can't drag. All right, I'm going to have to do it this way. So I've entered a short, so you want to do buy stop. Where's a sell stop? 1 second. This is not making any sense. Oh, it'll be a buy limit. Buy limit will be and then a buy stop will be your take profit. Okay, got it. All right. That's it. Okay. For fuck's sake, are you kidding me? This is why I don't like the DX Futures platform, because you can't really. Okay, so once you set it, you can drag it. Okay, so that's pretty decent. All right. So I just got to literally. Sorry, give me 2 seconds while I figure this freaking platform out. So all I've got to do is. But why can't I set a take profit? What? What do you mean order filled? Order filled what? I didn't do anything. Give me 2 seconds. I really don't get this platform. Order filled what? I didn't do anything yet. One moment, guys. One moment. This is just paper trading, so it doesn't really matter, but it's good to kind of familiar. All right, let's cancel that. I'm not in the market anymore. What happened? Did I accidentally place an order? 1 second. I have never used this platform in my life, so. How do I look at? For fuck's sake. All right, I don't know. I don't quite know what happened there. I didn't realize it went to my break even, and then it filled an order. I don't know if I'm still in it though, but then the line would be here, right? You need to click on your position and the X or the paper bin. T-bin needs to be set before you enter, then you can adjust. Okay. All right, so you can close it on the. All right, let me try something. I'm going to enter because I need to figure out how to do this. I'm going to just enter buy. I want to figure this out. So you can set your, by doing it as a buy limit, right? That will be your, stop loss. I can set my stop loss. All right, cool. Let's just set it there, for example. And then a take profit, I'm going to right click and then it will be, surely it'll be a sell limit though. Will be a take profit. Wait a minute, what is, oh, I put it as a buy. Okay, I realize what I've done now. It should be a sell stop. Yeah, so sell stop is your stop loss, and a sell limit, it's got to be your take profit. Okay, now I figured it out. All right, cool. And then I can drag it. Right, okay, I'm with you now. So I can drag it however I want. Okay, cool. And I can drag that however I want. Okay, cool. And then if I want to exit the trade, I just click close and then confirm. Oh, so many steps. Okay, cool. And then I have to manually get rid of the, all right. Okay, figured it out. No problem. Oh, okay. Cool. All right, let's just see what the hell happened there because I didn't see anything. Damn, that was ridiculous. Look at this volume that came in. That's all the buyers getting stopped out, basically. All below. Now, I would have got stopped out because I would have wanted my stop loss to be, like below here. So I would have got stopped out there somewhere. And then you got more there, and all of those little spikes are buys. And then buyers were willing to jump back in. Okay, so it's a very rotational market, essentially. We're still very much in the range. It's not really doing anything. Okay. Peter, my daughter Caitlin says hi, school holidays still. Oh, amazing. Hello, Caitlin. How are you? Steve, good to see you. When you say divergence, are you suggesting it should go lower or higher because of the divergence? Are we talking about divergence in the delta, Steve? Like the cumulative delta? Okay. At least I figured out this DX Futures platform. All right, it's not that difficult. It's just a little annoying that you can't just drag a stop loss and take profit like very quickly. That would be a lot nicer, but what can you do? What can you do? Between ES and NQ, right. If there's a divergence between ES and NQ, I mean, it doesn't mean all of a sudden. I was going to say, I was like, I never really spoke about divergence between ES and NQ, but it. No worries, Steve. You need to activate one-click trading, preset stop loss, and take profit in settings. All right, let's do that. One-click trading. I'm assuming it'll be in the settings somewhere. Maybe not. One-click trading settings. Here we go. All right, let's just see if it works. No, it's still doing the whole confirm thing. One-click trading. What was that? One-click trading. New orders from chart and watch list. Demo. When you change them in the settings. So what account is this? 137. Yeah, 137. All right. Top left of chart, it says one click. Top left of the chart. Oh shit! There we go. Yeah, well done. All right, let's test this out. Okay, we're in. That was nice. Okay, you can't still set the. Okay, so you got to do that, and then I can just click. All right, that makes it a lot easier. Okay, and then now to set the stop loss and take profit in settings. Okay, so that's like bracket orders, right? Trading. I don't think it's in there. How can I do this? It's not going to be in the drawing tools. Instrument, chart type. What chart types do they have? Okay, all the standard stuff. Compare chart studies, indicators, multi-chart, layout, layers, export, snapshot. I'm sure someone in the chat will help me out with this one on how to do it. What is this? One. Dun, 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 dun. It's got to be in the settings, right? Well, can you just right click? Settings. Here we go. It's just those. Okay. Reset grid. I see nothing regarding bracket orders or anything like that. That's all scale. That's data. Colors. Not going to be that. Events. Expansion. Top margin. The fuck is that? I don't know. There should be a main order window somewhere. Okay. Maybe under workspaces I can, rather than a chart. Oh, we can do depth of market. Time and sales. Let's have a look. See how the time and sales look like. Oh, okay. Nice. I wonder if you can edit the settings of the time and sales, where you can filter it by size. Do you know what I mean? Okay, that's just like, no, so it's not that. Auto resize ain't going to be that. Language, and I don't think you can, sadly, on the time and sales, you can't. Oh, wait a minute. You can! So you can see any, but this is MNQ. All right, let's do NQ. And then we're only looking for big orders. I mean, 10 lots isn't that, 10 contracts isn't that big. All right, let's do 5. And it was at 1:55 local time. So what time is it here? 1:55. So literally a few seconds ago, there was some big orders. Okay, that's pretty cool. I could see how that can be useful. But they don't. Okay, they disappear very quickly. Oh, someone just shorted Acon. Look at that. You can see that's not bad. I quite like that. ZT Content, good morning to you. Above your chart, you can select trade bar and display it, and it will allow the TP. Okay, let's have a look at this. Above my chart, I can select trade bar, did you say? Above my chart. I'm so bad with all these platforms. I'm literally illiterate when it comes to technology. Above my chart. Why is everything just sticking? I want to get rid of this. There it is. Okay. I quite like the fact that you got the time and sales. That is quite nice. I'm not gonna lie. Fuck it, it doesn't matter. I have it next to the candle icon. Oh, next to the candle. Trade bar. Nils. Okay. You can do it. All right. So make it 5. And then you can do it by ticks. I mean, let's just do 50-50 on each side, and then we can drag it when the time comes. All right, so say we want to buy right now. Boom. And then very quickly, I can set the stop, take profit. Okay, that kind of works. And if I want to quickly get out, I can just... Now the X is gone. Where's the little X? See, that one has it. Why can't I? Bottom right. What, the bottom here? Do I have to? Is it not? Okay. It's a little... It is a little rough to use. It really is a little rough to use. The fact that I don't understand why else on the little X before when we entered. So if I enter again, I've got one click. I don't know. What happened to the one click? Because we got it as a trade bar. All right. So if I get rid of trade bar, 1 minute. Okay. Now I don't know. The whole chart's disappeared, which is amazing. Dude, this is the worst. I can't for the life of me trade this crap. All right. Let's go back. So will it do it again? No, okay. So it has to be via trade bar. But here now the X appears, so I can just one click it, boom, 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 which is nice. But then if I use the trade bar, it's a little janky. I'm not going to lie. It's a little janky. And then, okay, at least it kind of gives you like that's quite nice. It's just annoying that, look, if I get in, now I can't manually, I can't close that with the little X. I have to, like you guys said, I have to go to the order at the bottom, which is now disappeared. Wait a second. It's under positions, isn't it? Okay, there it is. and then I can manually close it, confirm, and it should, if I go back to chart, be gone. Okay. Oh no, I don't want to enter. Get out. Yep. Cool. Okay. Oh, there is a flatten at the bottom. Cody, you are great. And yeah, Marcel, I just see it. Okay, so there is a flatten button. All right, let me try that one more time. So if I enter and I just want to flatten. Oh, beautiful. Okay. Beautiful. We're there now. We're there. All right, we're ready. We're ready to start trading. Okay. Sammy, we are at previous day point of control. Okay, interesting. Are we at the previous day's point of control? I have no idea, to be honest. Let's have a look. Where is the previous day's point of control? I'm pretty sure we're above the previous day. We did dip down a while ago, but previous day point of control is still quite far away. Or do you just mean like a general another day's point of control? We're talking like a long time ago. I wouldn't be able to see yet, but all right. But at least we're ready to trade now. I appreciate everyone in the chat helping me out to figure this out. Okay, let's work out what the hell is going on with this market. Buyers seem to have taken control though, just a bit. We had, and get rid of all these just going to keep it between here. So we had a bunch of sellers that tried to come in. Buyers came in again. This is like a very slow moving upward grind. But ultimately it's I may have to wait until we get into this area for something to actually truly happen, because this just looks a bit too choppy and nasty for me. Yeah, buyers just keep buying it up. So it is just it's a very kind of nasty move up. It's not a clean market right now. It doesn't look nice right now. Truth be told, it doesn't look nice. This area up here, but it's a freaking big area. This is the only thing. So I'm going to try figure out where within that gap we really have a drop in volume. So let's go and make these rows a little bit smaller so we can try and figure out where it could be. All right, let's bump this up to 50. Okay, oh yeah, you can really see the gap nicely there. This is looking a lot better. That is very, very nice. All right, bump it up to 100. Oh, it's so defined. I love it. Right there. Bump it up to 150. All right, now it starts getting a bit hardly. I mean, really, it's all there. So I'll say about where we have it there. That's kind of where we want to be. So we don't really want to be. Yeah, we don't really want to be necessarily shorting it as soon as we touch that area. It's going to be more at the top here, more around 250, 26, 250 is kind of where we want to start looking at shorting it. So we are still a little far away. Where the hell is price gone? There it is. Okay, we do still have a bit of movement, truth be told. We are, 180 pips, not pips, points away. Okay, So we can buy it. I mean, if we get something decent, we can still buy. We're not that close. So now it's really just down to looking at the footprint, seeing if we see any kind of a big chunk of buy volume comes in, and then just try and jump on the train, essentially. As long as the buy volume comes in as we're drifting down, like there was a nice big chunk of sellers. Let's see how those sellers fare up. We can look at potentially jumping in. $100. Yeah, I saw a big chunk of buyers just jump in there. All right, let's see what those buyers can do. Let's just have to take profit. We'll just trail it however long and see if we can. So yeah, you saw when those sellers came in. I don't know why the text is all weird. There it is. It was like 130 and it dropped down to like 70 in one go. So I imagine there was a bit of a chunk of buyers that came in. So let's see if we can just kind of, drift up nicely. I can't imagine this will be the high. All right, come on. Why is all these sellers coming in out of nowhere? Come on, give up now. That was a very nice little defensive play from the buyers there. In terms of my stop loss, I mean, it's a tough one where to put your stop on this one. I mean, realistically speaking, I don't really want it to go lower than that wick there, because we know that's where the buyers were willing to come in and kind of stop the sellers in their tracks. So if those buyers fail, then all right, we might go down a little bit more. So I'd rather just get out the market and then buy it again, maybe a bit lower down. So I want to see those buyers come in. $18, $16, $4. There's still sellers coming in. A bit of buying. But yeah, it's really here. It's kind of where the buyer. What the hell happened there? Order filled. I didn't do anything. I literally didn't click anything. I don't know what it means, order filled. I didn't click anything. It just got me out of my position. What? I'm so confused. What the hell just happened there? Did you guys see that? I don't know what happened. My mouse was at trading view. It wasn't even on the DX futures platform, and then all of a sudden it just got me out of my order. But it didn't hit anything. This is my point. Like it didn't touch anything. 50 tick stop loss is quite tight. Yeah, but my stop was far, like down here. It didn't touch the stop, Steve. Like I would still very much be in the trade. My stop was down here. Like what? I'm so freaking confused. I don't know. I don't know. All right, let's re-enter, I guess. I mean, there's a bunch of buyers. Fuck it. We'll re-enter. We'll see what happens. All right, I'm going to put my stop really far away. And I'm just going to keep my eye on it. See if it does the same thing. I'm not going to touch it now. All right. Because I kind of want to see what happens. Does it just get me out of my trade at a certain amount of time or something? I don't know. In fact, I'm going to get rid of the stop. I've got rid of it, so it can't stop me out now, right? There is no stop loss. I want to see what the hell's going on. What is the difference between the footprint and the cumulative delta? Daniel, so cumulative delta is, so the footprint is actually just showing you, you know, well, this is the delta footprint. So it's showing you the delta, you know, on each price level essentially, right? And at that particular time, right? The cumulative delta shows you the delta. So for every candle from the beginning of the session, and it adds it up, right? So the easiest way to show it, let me just make this bigger. It did it again. It just look, it got me out my trade. I didn't touch anything there. I'm out my trade. It just got, maybe because it's like this weird demo account that's not actually a proper account, and it's just only there for. All right, so essentially I can't hold a trade longer than like a minute or two. Oh dear. Ugh. I don't know, but it just did it there again, Cody. It just got me out for no reason. All right, well, it's kind of pointless having this account up then, is it? I might as well just go full view on the trading view and just leave this, because there's literally 0 point if I can't. Do you know what I mean? All right, trading view full screen. We're going to forget the DX futures. There's no point then. But yeah, back to Daniel, what you were saying, cumulative. So cumulative, if I go to the beginning of the session for you, so all the way to the beginning of the day, zoom in, I'll just get rid of all this. So you can see, this is where it ticks over. So this is 9:59 p.m. UK time, and then 11 p.m. UK time. This is the beginning of the new session, right? The next day. And you can see that the delta in that candle, right, was 48. And the cumulative delta is also 48, because that's the first candle of the day. And then it's 48 minus 21. So it's 27 plus 18, which makes it 45, plus 32, which makes it 77. And it does that candle for candle. So it's basically totting up the total delta from the beginning of the session to where we currently are. All right, that's what the cumulative delta shows you. And if we go to like right now, so since the beginning of the session, beginning of the day, we're at negative 1,000 if you were to tot it all up. Okay. Went back and rewatched it. It was totally random. Maybe there's a max loss setting on the cap. Maybe, I don't know. But on the one it just did there, I was in profit. So I don't know. Scalper account, yeah. It's a BlackRock demo account. It's an account for super scalpers. There's an automation setting somewhere that needs to be shut off. This happened to my own weird platform too. Oh, really? And automate? Why would you ever want to automate that? I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. Did you hit TP or stop loss on the first spike that got you out? No, it didn't hit. It didn't hit. It was just completely, I don't know. Doesn't matter. Marketing idea for Euler Prime. What if you and the other coaches trade challenge accounts, and once they are passed, give them away on stream, not on DX Futures? So it's just a thought. You know what? I mean, that would be a great idea, but I don't think they'll allow it, unfortunately. Unfortunately, I don't think they'll allow that. But that would be fun. But how do people trade scalp with cumulative delta? You don't really scalp with it. It's more just kind of to give you an idea of Like, look, we have right now, we're at negative 500 for the day. And if we just look at the day's move, right, overall, since the beginning of the day, let me just turn on. So we opened around here somewhere, and we're up here and we're at negative 500. So it just kind of gives you could see that kind of divergence, right? There's been 500 extra sell contracts the whole day, and we're actually higher up than where we opened. So it's more in favor to the bulls. Do you know what I mean? They seem to be doing better. It's easier for the buyers to push the market up than it is for sellers to push it down. So really, you're just kind of using the cumulative as kind of like a gauge of the overall buy and sell pressure for that day, and does it make sense with what you're actually seeing? Because really, considering we opened here and we just essentially kind of ranged for most of the day, and now we're kind of breaking out higher up, you would expect, on a really balanced fair market, you would expect this to be somewhat near zero, right? Give or take, maybe negative 500 or 1,000 there, maybe positive 1,000 up here, but somewhat near zero. And now we expect to maybe be a positive 1,500 or something because we had this push up, but instead we actually negative 500 instead. So, but it's not really used, to kind of make entry decisions. It's more just to kind of gauge a bit of sentiment. Like yesterday we had such a bullish day, right? So let's see how the cumulative was, somewhere near the New York Open. So like maybe half an hour after NY opened. So around here, yeah, look, the cumulative was plus almost 7,000, right? And that kind of, makes sense, right? If you were looking at this candle, oops, what the fuck happened there? We're looking at, sorry for that. Looking at that candle, that's, plus 7K, right? Delta, cumulative delta. And, we opened flat and then we start pushing up. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. The delta and what's happening makes sense. There's no kind of divergence. So, you're happy to kind of keep essentially buying for a bit, right? The buyers are truly in control. There's no reason to really short the market. It all looks, fine and dandy. It's a fair, good, balanced market. Today, not quite, right? It's actually very unbalanced. Anyone who shorted, even though there's been more shorts, they're struggling, and buyers are still in control. But don't use it for like entries. Look, we're still technically in the negative. We're getting very close to flat on the day. Crazy, right? Love how you got through this with a smile on your face. Most people have taken the basketball and kicked it. Thank you, Coach C. It's all good. It's all good. Wow, I mean, it's just a demo. It's just demo account. If it was a real account, I would be a bit more pissed, but it's fine. I'm just going to get rid of these black lines. I can't remember why I had that there. Oh, I'm on a 15-minute. That's why. Okay. Yes, right. That was where that buyer came in. You saw the buyers come in here again. So really, you're only really looking to buy this market right now until we kind of see that shift, until we see, sellers are quite good, are quite effective, and buyers lose efficiency. What we are seeing, though, is every so often we're seeing a big chunk of buyers kind of appear. Lots of buy volume, 200, 100, 100, another 100, just all kind of grouped up in an area. I think that's a lot of take profits. I think that's a lot of people cashing out the market. And then that gives sellers just a little bit of room to breathe and kind of get back in. But then very quickly after a pullback, buyers are very quick to start buying the dip again, and they'll start moving it up again. So it's a very bullish market, but just wait for a dip, essentially. Wait for a pullback, even if it's quite shallow. The moment you start seeing that buy pressure come back in, just join them and see if you can take out the high again. Maybe put your take profit just a little bit above the high, because you're going to get these spikes, and then people take a bunch of profits, and then it goes back down again, and then the buys, and it's not like a very smooth moving market. It's a very kind of up down kind of market, slowly grinding its way up. Charis, good to see you. Whenever we have consolidation, I draw a volume profile at the value area low. I compare the cumulative volume delta. If we have more sellers, but the price kind of reacts bullish, I enter long. Yes, exactly. Again, kind of that divergence is really good. Whenever you get a good divergence from the cumulative delta, it's very nice, and you can see it good in like you mentioned in consolidation, right? Like here, we can see that divergence quite easily because we're actually pushing up and the cumulative is still negative. But most days, you don't really get that. You'll see it more in a sideways market like here. You can see where the cumulative was when we started the range. So around here somewhere, we were at negative 1.46. And then like somewhere here, we're at negative 1.56. So again, more sellers coming in, granted only 100 contracts or so, but we're still kind of going sideways, still giving that power to the buyers, Oh, and we finally crossed over into the positive. Right there, we have positive cumulative delta, finally, in this candle. And look at that, the bull's just coming in. Now we get that spike above the high. We're getting some profit taking again. So what I would imagine is maybe a few more points, it will move up, and then we'll get another little pullback. It's going to spike up. The volume will spike, and then there'll be a pullback again. And it's kind of, rinse and repeat. ATL, can we see the settings for your footprints? Mine doesn't look like that. Absolutely. So, obviously the colors are the colors. Row size, this really depends on what you're trading. For NQ, I usually have it anywhere from like 12 to like 24. It depends how volatile the market is. But I've got it set to manual. And I've got it, for this market, 12 at the moment. Display is cluster. Type is obviously delta. I get rid of all the gradient. The gradient stuff, some people like it, actually. Personally, I don't know. It hurts my eyes a little bit. I don't know why. I don't really like the gradient. Some people absolutely swear by it, and fair play, but it's not for me. And then for the bottom, I've got the table and delta percent, and session CVD. And that's literally it. I keep it very plain, the footprint. I don't like too many different things. Like a lot of people have, the gradient, the point of control. They got fucking imbalance highlighting. They got and it just becomes like too much stuff. I just want to see the number. Okay, there's the spike again. And we're finally in that gap area. But again, we've kind of identified that the gap really kind of starts up here, This is kind of where it starts. So truthfully, I don't really want to short until we get up here. That is where I want to start looking at shorting. Are we going for all-time highs today? I think unlikely, Peter. We still got a lot of movement before we get to all-time highs. All-time highs are 856. So we've got what, 700 points to do? Yeah, 700 or so points for all-time highs. Unless something comes out, I can't see it going to all-time highs just yet. Not just yet. But it certainly looks like it wants to start going there. I mean, it really, the last few days have been very, very bullish. But you never know. Never know. But I am starting to eye up a short though, higher up. So we'll see. We'll see. Can see this breaking higher from here now. I'm long. Absolutely, Neil. Absolutely. But this is a relatively easy market to read right now because the bulls have taken such good control of this market. Every time we get a pullback, as long as you see some good buying come in, you're pretty safe to jump in. Just have a tight stop. It's fine. Because if you get stopped out, okay, no big deal. You know it's going to spin round again. So you just enter at the next one. So it's a bit of a boring market right now, truth be told. Resistance at 26,190. $190. Let's have a look. What is that 26,190? Good 4 hour maybe. Okay, yeah, we got a little bit of spikes up here. I'm very much eyeing up 250 essentially. 250 is where I'm really looking to go short. Because even if it doesn't spark off a massive move down, I can almost guarantee you at that point, I can almost guarantee you're going to get a good reaction nonetheless around there. I shouldn't say guarantee because that's a bit, but you're going to get, you could easily get 20, 30 points quite nicely from that area. Because even just in pure support and resistance terms, that is quite a significant area, right? If I just get rid of all just do candles, you can see where it really, this area here, around 250. I mean, we really had reactions from that area. And it's never been tested again. It's never come up and got to that area again. So when we do get there, even just the sheer fact, the amount of buyers that will probably take profit there, the amount of liquidity that will leave the market, especially up here as well, that's going to be another area. But you're going to get a good reaction. Do you know what I mean? You'll probably get easily, 30, 40 points or something just off that reaction. And as a scalper, that's all you need. It doesn't need to, reverse and create a whole new downtrend. None of that. Just a reaction. So that's an area where you could probably put a bit more size on, especially if the footprint shows you, a lot of sellers coming in and everything's looking good, or buyers getting trapped and failing. Yeah, add a bit of size. It's a very high probability setup. And, it's supported by the fact that there's a lovely little gap that starts right there. And you can see how before it touched the gap to the T and just shot away. So it's a very nice area. And we're getting there. We're not far off. We're not far off. So I'd be bullish short term until we get up to here. Then I would look for maybe, another retracement, maybe back down to the point of control, maybe a bit maybe just down to here. But either way, some kind of, aggressive move down for a bit. And then, it probably consolidates for a while, and then maybe we start moving up again. Or it could actually, create a bit more of a longer downward move. You could start seeing, maybe a day or so of it pushing down before buyers regain the control and shoot it up. Because if you look at the 4 hour, we are quite extended as well. We haven't really had a proper pullback on this whole move up. I mean, apart from there, that was the last decent pullback we kind of had. But apart from that, we have been pretty vertical in the way we move. So I can imagine this area will create some kind of decent pullback. We could even get 100 points, maybe. Who knows? But there'll be definitely some reaction. It would be absolutely, I can't imagine it would really shock me if we just shot through it like nothing and it just kept going up and up and up with no slowing down. I mean, it's possible, especially if news or something comes out, of course, anything's possible, but it would genuinely shock me if it did that. So limit order at what level? I would say around 250. 26,250 on NQ. And then, but make sure that's on the futures price, right? If you're trading CFDs, it's not going to be the same. The number's going to be different. It's not going to be 250. It'll be, well, I don't know. Every CFD is a bit different, but essentially, at the wicks of the 4 hour candle on 29th of January at 7 p.m. UK time, and also at the 3rd of February, 7 a.m. UK time. Basically the wicks of those candles around there. Should be good. Should be good. You trade futures, perfect. No problem. So yeah, we've got a nice little grind up. Oh, look at that. Where's Peter? Peter, spot the hammer foot. What a hammer foot right there. Look at that. Beautiful hammer foot candle. I forgot about the indicator. Let's see if the hammer foot indicator. Oh, it did. Well done. It found it. Oh, yeah, and there's a hammer foot as well. The indicator found. Is there any others? There was another little bearish one there. Little bullish one there. This is kind of pre-market, so who cares? But if we were trading just a hammer foot strategy today, we would have had a trade there, 1-to-1, so around there, and boom, that would have hit. Nice. And then another bearish one. It does like a bearish one today, didn't it? Oh, this one might be, this is a hard one. Where's the wick there? Oh, just about 1-to-1 would have hit. I mean, that one we don't even have to mark it out. That's definitely would have been good. This one, though, would have failed, but it's not the best hammer foot, but it would have failed. That's, again, technically a hammer foot, but still not great. But that one's really nice. That's kind of what you want to see. So, yeah, even the hammer foot indicator would have done us proud. And I haven't actually looked at this other indicator that ChatGPT. Okay, yeah, I mean, it's just telling you buy, essentially. A few little bearish ones there, but for the most part, yeah. And at the open, all this chop would have been a bit difficult, but it would have called that quite well. Would have been a bit meh. But then just bull, buy, and probably exit around there, and then another buy. And now it's kind of telling you to buy and sell at the same time. So It's getting a little bit confused here. That means the market must be a bit of a battle here, but all in all, not bad. I still got to work on that indicator though. Get it a little bit, neaten up the code a bit. But pretty nice though, pretty nice. Come on, I kind of just want Trump to say something, just get the market up to here, up to 250. Yeah, we're starting to go a little bit sideways. I mean, look at the volume that's come in. Since we crossed over, since the cumulative crossed over to positive, which happened here, right, on this candle, the delta that's come in has been great. Look at that. We're almost at 2,000. So extra 2,000 buyers have come in just in this little move. So really, really nice. Really, really nice. Are those public? ATL? No, they're not public yet. They're just something I was making. But they're a bit buggy right now. They're not ready yet. Let's just put it that way. A little bit buggy. I still got to work on them, but once I'm done, I will absolutely make them public and give them away here on the stream. So stick around; they'll be done soon. All right. Yeah, this is I don't know. The thing is, we don't really have. Let me go back to the 4 hour. We're kind of a little bit in that. Yeah, like we don't really have a significant high until we get to that area. So I can imagine most buyers are going to keep buying until we get to that area. So this is relatively is going to be quite a low risk market for the most part to trade because we're in a very good uptrend. Just keep buying the dip essentially. As long as structure holds as well. You could even use an EMA for this, just have a moving average and literally buy off the moving average type strategy. This is the perfect market for it. You don't have to go too in depth with even the footprint or try and figure anything out. This is very much buy the dip. Sammy, would you say in general the markets, especially US indices, tend to go up? Generally, yeah. Yeah, they tend to go up. In the really long term, they tend to go up. Except in kind of recent times, we've had the most instability. Oh, look at this. Look at that. What is going on here? This could be an next buy the dip moment, potentially. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, they tend to generally go up. Yeah, nothing really happened at the top here, to be honest. A lot of sellers came in. I think that's more just kind of. But I'm going to expect buyers to start coming in soon again. We haven't really seen the buyers come in yet. So buyers have yet to buy the dip overwhelmingly. But once they do, you can see a lot of sell. Again, that's going to be a lot of buyers getting stopped out. 74? There's a little bit of buy pressure. Not terrible. There's the buyers coming back in. I did actually enter a buy on my cash account just there. So I'm just going to monitor that. I really, really need the market to go above, you know, these sellers here, and then we get another extension up. But so far, so good. So far, so good. Look at that. All that buy volume coming in. Nice. Come on, buyers. We don't really want to see as a bit of selling coming in. We want to see the buyers get above those sellers nice and quickly. Let's not faff around too much. We want to get above that 85. Come on. Don't struggle here, buyers. Come on. There we go. I was going to say, buyers, like, what's going on? You're actually struggling. There's a little bit, this is the most significant kind of pushback we had in the 1 minute chart in a while. So there we go. Come on, that's nice movement. Let's get it. Let's get a bit higher. Let's get it a little higher. Come on. Come on. 48, 42. There's not really much selling coming in, which is okay, but there's not really much buying happening. Come on, buyers. Well, there's a bit of a chunk of sellers there. Don't like it. Let's get above 31, 33, 38. Good. 23. That's a nice chunk. 40, 50. Good. 60. Come on. Oh, they struggled there. Oh, 65 on the sell side. I don't like that. Get above. I really don't like that. I'll be honest. Ooh. Ay, ay, ay. Come on, buyers. Damn. You're struggling for. I'm still going to hold it for a bit because it's so bullish. I mean, I'm expecting the buyers just to kind of rush in here a bit. But they're not that interested as they were before. Oh, come on, buyers. Don't be an arse here. There we go. Come on. Buy. 60. Good, good. I want to see big chunks of buy volume. See, I'm seeing chunks of sell volume coming in. Let's get above that chunk. Get above that 29. Come on. Get above it. There we go. Good boys. There we go. 41, 65. There's the chunks coming in. Good. Chunk it up. There we are. They got a little bit nervous there for a few seconds. I was like, come on, man. There's some of those sellers dropping out. All right, let's keep that momentum now. Let's get a nice little extension. Break that high. Come on. 113, 106, 115, 109. I want to see that jump up that number. 129. I need to see it jump. Come on, buyers. Come on. Get up. Up, up, and away. 20. Oh, come on. My sellers are coming in again. 50. Come on. Up you go. 60. Frickin' sellers. Who wants to sell right now? Who are these maniacs? 55, 70. Oh, jeez. Look at this. Come on, buyers. We're not seeing the buyers come in right now. So we've only got buy limits holding this market up right now. We need to see aggression, otherwise we're not going up. If aggression doesn't come in, it won't go up. It can only stay the same through passive orders. It can only like stay flat, but it can't go up. A little bit of aggression coming in, but it's minor still. We want to see that fresh wave, you know? Like we had a few candles back where they came in and just boom, boom, boom. Gotta see that momentum carry on. There you go. 46, 60, 50. Let's break through there now. Come on. 30. We're back down to 15. Look at that. Sellers coming in again. 40. Need to get above those sellers. The buyers just one more punch. And I think we got them. Give them one more hit. There we go. Come on. 20. The sellers are still there. 80. It doesn't look like they'll break out just yet. The buyers are just not that interested in buying that high. Any second now, though, I'm expecting some big buyers just to come in and break this high and come on. Sometimes you just got to wait for someone out there to be a bit ballsy and execute that order. I don't know what they're waiting for. Just do it already. But there's still predominantly more selling happening in this little area here. We need to see a bunch of buyers just come in already. We're not far now. We've only got a little bit. Where's the actual high? So the high is here. We're literally so close. I mean, just break above. There we go. 40. Oh, back down to -4. That means there were some nice sellers there. Come on, give it one more shot, buyers. One more punch. Just drop 80 contracts. 80 in one go. Boom. You clear it. 80 to 100. It will clear it. That's all we need. It's not even that much. None of this little 11, 10 crap. We need just a big chunk. Ay, come on. I don't think they're ready yet. Maybe a bit lower down, the buyers find their feet. They're probably waiting for a bit of a pullback to get a good price. That's probably what they're doing. They found a little bit. As soon as we pulled back a bit, they were willing to buy it up. They're just not willing to buy here. Come on, 48, 49, 50. I want to see a big chunk. Go to like 90, 30. See, it's dropping back down. Sellers are the ones executing at the top here more aggressively. 39, 40, 38, 37. We're at 60 on the sell side. Come on. Give me a chunk. Come on. My God, is this boring. Come on. Here we go. 30. There it is. 70, 80. This should be it now. Come on. Surely that can break through the high. That's it. See, 100. Give it a little bit more. A little bit more. Oh, look. It was 100. It's dropped back down to 40. We just need a tiny bit more, buyers. Almost got it. As soon as they dropped 50 to 100 contracts in a go, you saw the movement. They were able to almost break through. Just peck it, peck the top there. They just need a little bit more. I would have guessed maybe an extra 30 contracts on top of that, and they would have broken through. There we go. Come on, there's a nice chunk. Let's go up. 108, 120. Here we go. Come on. It's got to pop any second now. 100. Come on. Don't let the sellers keep that momentum. 15. This is little. We need to see big numbers. Big. 16. 32. That's it. Okay. All right. There's a bit of an iceberg here because you can see whenever a big buy number comes in, it just doesn't move. So there is an iceberg there just sitting there. And I'm assuming there's some buyers taking profit or something. There it is. 100. Boom. All right. Touch and go there for a second. But if we want that true extension, they need to keep up the... I'm still holding my cash trade. I got in at 119.25. So I got in at 119.25 down there by that 108. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Come on, boys. Give me a little bit more. Give me another few points so I'll get out. 69, 40. Come on. See if we can get above that seller real quick. Or is they going to struggle here? Because that's going to be a lot of take profits and whatnot. And sellers getting stopped out. That big buy volume next to it. So I'm not really counting that as true buy volume. I just want to see a little bit. Just another little push up. Give me a few more points and I'll be happy to get out. Here it is. Come on. Come on. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, I'm getting out. Yep. Okay, I'm out. Noise. Apologies. I'm back in the chat. Let's have a see. Could pull back to 2680. I think you said that earlier when it was here. Might look to add if we do. I hope you did add, Neil. I hope you did. I don't know when you actually said that, to be fair. Athar, is it? Hey, I'm new here. Great to see you, Athar. Damage to you. Afternoon to you, my friend. How are you? So yeah, that was again, like I said, you can pretty much buy the dip in this market up until around 250 is when I would imagine to start. It's going to slow down. This is the problem, right? I guarantee you, we're not the only people to have identified that 26,250 is significant, or this kind of whole area, right? It's a bit of a bigger area, but within this kind of area here is significant, right? So as we start crawling up, you're going to get less people interested in buying, right? Because it gets more and more risky. The closer you get to one of these areas, the more risky it becomes to buy, because now you have to bet that price is going to break through that area, right? Because why would you buy if you're starting to think like, you know? So it does slow down, to be fair. So you're going to constantly get these little pullbacks, and then it'll, it takes a little bit more, breaks up, pull back, more buyers buying the dip, pull back, buyers buying the dip, pull back, buyers buying the dip. And then it might just get a little bit choppy as we get close to that area. But then eventually it will get there. Hopefully, at least. I mean, it doesn't have to get there. You can get close to it and then reverse. You never know. But yeah, this has been a very, very nice market to trade, because any pullback, the moment you see those buyers come in, we had a pullback. The moment you see buyers come in, you can buy. Now, that doesn't normally work in average sort of trading on a typical market. It doesn't really work that way. But whenever you see like a trend that is so steep, so vertical, oh, it works beautifully. Works really, really beautifully. The only thing you don't really want to do is buy at the peaks, right? So whenever you break like a previous high, like we just did there, not a good idea to buy right on this volume, because you've got to remember this volume here is fake volume essentially. And I call it fake because it's not true buying intentions, right? This is more just buyers like me who got in at down here, most likely taking profit or something, or sellers who got in, here. All their stops are going to be around this area, and that's them all getting stopped out and buyers taking profit. So all that kind of volume there is essentially fake volume. It's not fake. I mean, it's real volume. It's just, it doesn't really have any true intention. It's people exiting rather than people entering, right? So same with, the volume at the bottom here. This little peak in sellers, that's not real sellers. That's going to be a lot of, buyers who held a bit too long here, were trailing, maybe had their stops at break even and literally got stopped out. Do you know what I mean? Unlucky for those guys, but it happens, right? So again, you wouldn't really want to short at the peaks. So, but that's all pretty self-explanatory. Sammy, how did you know early on the buyers were in control of the market? That's the part I'm struggling with the most. So earlier on, like at New York Open, okay, so there was a few little hints I had, right? It could have still been 50-50. When we actually opened, it was a little bit choppy, and, sellers could have taken some control of the market again. But we had that gap there, and that was a really nice gap, right? And it got respected beautifully, right? really, really beautifully. And that was from yesterday. So already, I'm kind of, all right, that gap might hold and we're probably more likely to go up. Okay. But then also just based on the volume at the open of how it, look at the volume distribution. Always let the open happen. So the open was here, right? This is the open candle. And just right from the get-go, right? You can see a lot of sellers came in. The delta is predominantly, 878 to the sell side. They were struggling a bit. It's pretty much flat. All right, technically it's a tiny bit bearish, but for the most part, let's just be honest, it's a doji, right? It's completely flat, right? And then they came in again and were able to, like this candle, literally only this candle actually looks true bearish to me, right? The fact that there's the majority of buyers at the bottom, at the top, and you got sellers coming in quite heavy and were able to create a nice big kind of movement down. Only that candle looks truly bearish, right? But very quickly you had those buyers just jump in again. They were like, nope. They just jumped in, they brought it back up, and then the volume distribution got very 50-50 again. No one's really winning. Again, quite heavy on the sell side, but we didn't really go down much. And it was really around, I would say, these two candles here is where it started becoming obvious that it's more bullish. Because slowly you started seeing where is the majority of sell volume. It's down here, and you're starting to see all the sell volume is now below us, right? And price is up here. And that volume distribution really kind of started flipping more to the buy side, right? Now we did have this sudden move down, and that's when, because I did originally enter a buy here somewhere on that DX future, somewhere around here, because I was expecting, a kind of buyers to come back in again and prop that market up. And then it became, fuck knows what happened here, right? It's just complete carnage. I don't know. Sellers came in super aggressive, tried to really take control. But then once they failed, look, if 1,800 extra contracts on the sell side and they still can't really take out the buyers, and the buyers were able to immediately take control again, that's when the sellers just gave up after that. That was kind of it for the seller. They pretty much gave up then, and didn't really bother too much. And then it was just a slow trickle up since then. So these kind of, crazy spikes can happen. All right, you're going to get caught out on them. But around that kind of area, I was bullish. After seeing around that kind of volume distribution, that to me kind of indicated we're going to be more bullish. Yes, I got stopped out on a very annoying freaking trade there, but all right, shit happens. But yeah, so it's kind of just, it takes time to kind of, learn it, and you're not always going to be right. But I'll say volume distribution is the best way to look at it always. As long as, the volume distribution looks bullish, I would say remain bullish. And we've never really had bearish volume distribution anywhere in this whole move up, right? Momentarily, we got little trickles of where it looks a bit more bearish. Like here looks a little bit more bearish. The fact that, we're now trading below a lot of buyers. But that's when you got to figure out, are these real buyers, or is it, people taking profit, or people, getting stopped out? So you got to always look at the structure of the market, right? And if we draw a line, from the last kind of high that we took out, which is there, all right, doesn't match up perfectly, but like for sure, this volume here is basically profit taking and stops. But there's probably going to be a few stops here as well. People who've got a bit higher up their stop losses, probably getting triggered. Whenever you see a lot of volume higher up, generally speaking, it's more. Oh, my signals dropped out on my camera. All right, it's fine. You can still hear me, hopefully. Um, not sure why that happened, but yeah. Whenever you see kind of a lot of volume in an uptrend, and it's all kind of gathered at the top, that's usually people exiting rather than entering. Okay. And vice versa as well. Whenever you see a lot of volume at the bottom on a move down, it's usually people exiting rather than entering. So you never really want to chase the volume at the highs. Sometimes it works out. Like here, it would have worked out fine for you, right? If you chase this heavy volume here that came in after we took out that high, guarantee that's a lot of people exiting. All right, but it worked out. There was just enough new buyers are willing to come in on the next candle, and you saw that, right? Because this 270, it's going to be people, and that 170 is most likely going to be people taking profit and stops getting hit, right? But then anything below that little high there, like this 119 and 88, that's got to be fresh buyers, right? Because it's not going to be take profits or stops because they would have been triggered here already, right? We already touched that area. So these are real fresh buying pressure came in and they managed to get the market up. So chasing the volume would have worked in that scenario, but generally speaking, it's rare to get that kind of aggression come in very quickly after taking out a high. A lot of people wait for that kind of pullback and then they jump in again. And that's generally what we saw for the most part of today. Whenever you got a pullback and then buyers were willing to come in, like here, then they were able to, push the market up and so just never chase the volume, right? Like again, as soon as buyers are willing to come back in, where they're not. Like here, we just took out that high. Look at that volume spike up. That's not real buyers. That's take profits, stop losses, all getting triggered. You can ignore this volume pretty much, right? What we want to see is the next candle. What actually happens if we see a bunch of sellers come in? We're probably going to go down for a few ticks until buyers come back in and buy it. Like here, we got sellers coming in, right? 60, 50. If we see enough sellers to push it down a bit, they could push it back down to maybe where these buyers are before buyers are willing to come back in and buy it up. But we're not really seeing any real buyers coming in right now, fresh buyers. So I wouldn't really want to be buying just yet, right? 24.12, you're getting a bit of buying happening because that did go up to like 50 and now we're basically flat again, 0. But look, more sellers coming in, 51, big chunk of sellers. So it's going to take and it's just a probability game, because think about it logically. You're less likely to want to buy. Generally, people are less likely to want to buy near a high. Everyone kind of wants that little bit of a pullback, a good price. You feel like you got a good deal. Oh, it's dropped down a bit. I'd rather buy once it's dropped down. So if you were to just jump in that high volume because you think, oh, a bunch of buyers came in, you're going to be like, what the hell's going on? Why is it going against me now? And you're going to be all like frustrated, right? But as long as you're aware that that's not real volume, that's just, like I said, take profits, stop losses getting triggered, ignore that volume. It's this volume is what is going to dictate what's going to happen next. If you don't see real buyers coming in, this market is going to trickle down for a bit until they do. So you just have to wait. Just let it be patient. Let it trickle down till you see those numbers change quite drastically and a big chunk of buyers start coming in. You can see that aggression come in. Then you can jump in, you know? Um, I mean, how can a big trader take such a huge loss and still be in business? Oh, sorry, I think I missed your. Sorry, I missed the comment. I think. How much experience do you have with order flow analysis? Avav, close to like 15 years or so, I would say. Thomas, good to see you. Sammy, You are like a UFC commentator commentating on the fight between buyers and sellers. I like it a lot. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you. That's right. There is gold. Thank you, Sammy. You're welcome. You're welcome. So how is it then that such a big seller would take such a big loss? Aren't these big players all in the game together? Right. So ZT content. That's a good question. Right. A lot of the sell volume you're going to see right now, right? It's not actually going to be, again, real sell pressure. These guys are real sellers, most likely, right? But whenever you see, let me point out real and fake sell volume, right? Like this is buyers getting stopped out. That's not real sell volume. This could very well be some sell volume, but again, a lot of it's like algorithms, right? It's not always a human being making a decision. These algos, they're just scalping, super quick, few points, boom, boom, they're in, they're out. They're not like humans. They see stuff in the book that we can't even notice because they're just superhuman essentially, right? But a lot of like the volume that you see, like this little spike here, right? That's not really real sellers. Like that 226 and 120, that's going to be buyers getting stopped out, right? Just look at it structurally for a second. Imagine, buyers are buying, loads of buyers coming in, and they've never taken out the low of the last candle, really. And then all of a sudden, this candle kind of moves very quickly and people are trailing. That's just people getting trailed out. That's not real sellers. That's just buyers getting trailed out, you know? It just kind of makes sense. That's the most logical conclusion, is that this volume, the majority of it are buyers getting trailed out. That's it. And then, you got, again, fresh buyers willing to come back in, right? Trying to push this up. Don't know exactly what happened in real time here, but something happened, and all of a sudden, boom, you get this big candle came down. A lot of time, it's hard to defend yourself on this kind of random aggression. There's going to be a lot of algorithms and whatnot. They're reacting to the most random shit that we don't even realize. And all right, fine. Sometimes you're going to get that random spike down and you're going to get, struck out because of that, but it's no big deal. But that's why you generally don't really want to buy too high up. You want to wait for like a pullback and then like a decent kind of amount of buying coming in. And like, oh, look at that. Like I said, if buyers don't come in, and they didn't really come in anywhere here, we're not going to go up. We're going to actually go back down. And look at all this volume right now that's coming in from the sell side. That's all these buyers who came in. They're all getting wiped out right now. Buyers are gone. But there's going to be also a lot of opportunist buyers who see that and be like, well, now's a good time to buy, right? Prices dropped a bit. And if we start seeing a lot of buying coming in, join them, buy, This isn't real sellers. These are fake sellers. These are just buyers getting stopped out. And there's a very good saying in trading, and I don't know who said it originally. I don't know who gets credit for this, but they will say you should put your orders where people put their stops, right? And institutions love to do that shit. They like to place their orders where people place their stops, right? And that's exactly what just happened pretty much in this area. That's everyone stopped getting hit, getting triggered out of the market. And now a lot of people are trying to take advantage of it and quickly get this market up and buy it up again. It's not a huge amount of aggression yet, but once, if you get a couple of hundred contracts, boom, 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 the market's going to go back up again, So, and that's what the footprint really shows you. It can help you identify where, as long as you're aware structurally of what's going on and you know how to attribute what volume is what, are these buyers getting stopped out? Are these sellers taking profit? Is this, as long as you can figure out what's actually happening, then you know what to ignore, what volume not to chase, and which volume you should be chasing, right? Don't want to chase that volume. You want to chase the volume that's coming in now, the buy volume, that aggression. That's the volume you kind of want to chase then. Do you know what I mean? Can you show how you found that 25,250 level again? Absolutely ATL. So I'm going to have to go on the 4-hour chart for that. Because I'm going to scroll all the way back to basically, because we had this huge push up. So I'm using a fixed range volume profile, right? This tool here. And all that is you basically draw it from the top, from the peak, all the way down to where where the low of this whole move down. And I'm just looking for gaps in volume, right? I made a video about this. Like, here is a gap, right? See how we had high volume or relatively higher volume, and then a drop in volume, and then increase in volume. So it's big volume, small volume, big volume. It's that small volume, that low volume node. I like to call it a gap, or you can call it whatever you want, but basically that is what you're looking for. And we have one just up here as well, right? You can kind of see it. It's a little bit tough to kind of see properly, but there is one there, right? It's like a little drop off in volume and an increase. And then in order to really pinpoint where that volume is, I increased the row size to I think 150, right? To really find where does that volume dip down? You know, where is here's the big bulge in volume, and then it kind of dips down and then increases. And where is the lowest one? It's really right here. So this is kind of the node I'm looking at, to short in. And that kind of lines up with these wicks here. It's looking good. I quite like it. That is basically, this sort of area as a whole is what I'm interested in. Okay. And that happens to be around 250. 250 is that black line there. But, it can go anywhere from 250 to 300 something, maybe 320 or so. So it is still a bit of a big area, but you got to time it right and look at the footprint, and kind of gives you a bit more, you can get that timing a bit better if you can just place a limit order. Don't get me wrong. Have your stop a bit higher, maybe up here, and just set and forget, walk away, because it is quite a good area. But if you want a really precise entry, it's good to what do you call it? It's good to kind of wait for that moment and go on the footprint and try and get that precise entry. But entirely how you play it. Some people just like the stress-free life of just putting a limit order and setting and forget, and I completely understand that. Considering you've been trading order flow for about 15 years, have you noticed a reduction in edge since order flow has become more widely spread amongst retail? Damage, that's a great question. I haven't really noticed a reduction in edge. What I have noticed is noise. Just a crazy amount of noise, right? The markets have just become more noisy because there's so many more algorithms now. It's just, there's so much more volume as a whole in the markets. So everything's just a little bit more noisy. Retail traders as a whole, we're so small, you don't even notice us on a day-to-day basis. But institutions with all their high frequency trading and all this bullshit, it's just become more noisy. So you have to be a bit more, I don't know. It's hard to explain. You just kind of have to, it's just a little bit more difficult than it used to be, I would say. But it's still the same principles apply. And just for you guys, again, like I said, that's the volume you wanted to chase, right? Because we identified that sell volume is essentially fake. It's just buyers getting stopped out. We don't care about that. That's not real. There's no true intention. Took out, all the stops, and then there was a few, aggressive buyers that came in. That's real buying pressure. These guys here, real buying pressure. They're the ones you want to chase, and they're already out the market probably. They're already exiting at these highs, and then you've got a lot of retail traders be like, oh, look, heavy volume and they try and play the breakout and then they get caught on the retracement. And so, yeah, don't be the guy who gets caught on the retracement. Don't be the guy who plays the breakout. Don't get me wrong. Breakout strategies can work. There are times, there are certain days where you could just buy at any point and you'll be fine. But a lot of the time, if you just chase, the breakout itself, you can get burnt quite easily, especially as a scalper. If you're like a swing trader, fine, that doesn't really matter, but because your stop is going to be like miles away, so it doesn't really care. But as a whole, yeah, you want to identify, which volume to chase, and it's that volume is the volume you want to chase, right? Oh, okay. I didn't know where you started from or what time frame. I get it now. No problem. Neil, nice. Just exited my long at 26,190 on MNQ. Bit of supply zone there, so done for the day. Could still push higher, but that's enough for me. Perfect. Beautiful. Well done, Neil. And that's the right way to do it. Once you made your money, like I'm done for the day as well. I caught that one trade. I'm happy. I am going to set an alert though for later on around here, probably a bit below 250, just so I got time to actually jump on the chart and stuff. I'm going to set it around 240. If we get up there, I'm pretty sure we probably will get up there. It might take another few hours or however long. But when we get up there, I will be looking at potentially shorting the market. But generally speaking, I'm pretty much done for the day as well. But yeah, there was a lot of opportunity today. Days like these, beautiful market conditions. I mean, look at it. It's just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. It's like a perfect structure, the trend structure. It's just lovely. Like, forget the open a bit because the open was a bit choppy. But once buyers truly took control, we just got this beautiful. A few pullbacks were a bit shallow, were a bit deeper than expected. But all in all, I mean, that's a pretty nice bullish market structure, right? So especially for a 1 minute time frame, normally the 1 minute looks like that. And when it does trend, it kind of looks a bit, like this, with random wicks just taking everyone out and whatnot. So we've had a very, very nice market today. But yeah, guys, I think I will leave it there. Thank you all for tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow again. Hopefully that short plays out if we get to 250, but we'll find out tomorrow, right? Thanks for the explanation. Markets can definitely be noisy today. Not sure if you're aware, but the camera's off. Yes, sorry, damage. I think my camera overheated. So yeah, my camera's unfortunately overheated. But yeah. Peter, thank you, Sammy. As always, fantastic to learn from you, man. Thank you, Peter. Thank you. All right, guys, I will leave it there. Thank you all for tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day. And good luck if you are trading or carrying on trading. I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care, all. Thank you.